everyone, this is me Randy and welcome back to a brand new video. First off, I want to say Happy New Year to you all. 2020 was a crazy and wild year, but at the same time, for me at least, it really showed a lot of valuable lessons and just a lot in my personal life. And I really feel like 2020 is a year that I will definitely look back on and think of and learn from everything that happened in 2020. So I wish you all a happy and safe 2021. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all my goals and plans for my two main collections, and that is for my music album collection and for my video games collection. All throughout the past couple of weeks, I've been seeing a lot of people on YouTube do collection goals and plans videos, and especially in the K-pop and in the manga and anime communities, this video type has been really popular, and I decided it would be really fun and interesting to share with you all my goals and plans for my two main collections, which is of course my music album collection and my video games collection. So before we start, I want to mention a couple of things. If you hear any noises in the background, I do apologize. My parents are watching football downstairs and there are fireworks going off at random times because I live in a place where fireworks are very popular. So if you hear any noise in the background, I sincerely apologize. Second of all, timestamps will be provided in the description box down below. So if you want to see my goals and plans for either or, then just check out the description box. And also I will leave the links to all the items that I used for this spread here in the description box down below as well. So yes, that's pretty much all I want to say for the intro and for the disclaimers. So with that all being said, let's get on with the video. The first goal that I have for my music albums collection for 2021 is that I want to focus more on my Japanese, no, I can keep that as is, but I want to focus more on my Japanese portion of my collection. I realized in 2020, I don't really have a lot of Japanese albums in my collection, and towards the end of 2020, I decided which groups and artists that I want to collect for Japanese releases, and I cannot wait to share with you all in more detail the groups and artists that I want to collect for. But yes, Japanese albums are very expensive for those that are not familiar with Japanese albums, and it really is a shame because there were some groups that I want it to collect for, but I just decided to omit them because Japanese albums are very expensive, and the groups that I also wanted to collect for that I will not be collecting for, they have a lot of releases. So unfortunately, groups such as BTS, SHINee, Day6, and Flying, I will not be collecting for. So it really is a shame, but at the same time, the groups that I decided that I will be collecting for Japanese releases, I really am excited to be collecting for them. So that is the first goal of mine for 2021. For my music album collection. The second goal that I have for my music album collection for 2021 is that I want to finish, and I say finish with abbreviation, my Green Day collection. So I decided that although I adore Green Day and they're a group that I have been a fan of for over a decade at this point, I just decided that I do not want to collect their newer albums. So from Uno, Dos, and Tres, Revolution Radio, and their album from 2020, I'm not getting those albums, but I adore Green Day so much and I did not want to sell my Green Day collection. So I decided to just get the 4 remaining albums that I need for my collection. So I will enter a photo of the 4 albums that I need for Green Day here. So those are the last 4 albums that I need, and then I'll be done with Green Day. Now let's move on to the third goal. So the third goal that I have for my music album collection in 2021 is that I want to collect for 1 new K-pop idol group in 2021. Now, I'm not saying new as in the group is a rookie group. I'm saying new as a group that I don't have any albums for yet. I actually already purchased an album for this particular group. I'm not going to say who it is, but all I'm going to say is that this group I have been a fan of for quite some time now, and especially if you follow me on my Instagram account, which you should, then you should know which group I'm referring to. But yes, I'm really excited to be sharing with you all the only 1 new K-pop group that I'm going to add to my collection in 2021. Now, let's move on to the 4th goal. So the 4th goal that I have is that I want to collect for 1 new K-pop solo artist for 2021 as well. This also applies for the 3rd goal that I have for my music album collection. It doesn't have to be a rookie soloist, although there is 1 rookie soloist that I am a fan of that hasn't released any physical albums yet. But yeah, I'm just gonna stick to 1 soloist for K-pop in 2021 as well. So we're going to move on to the 5th and last goal. So my 5th goal is pretty self-explanatory. Just try to buy new releases only in 2021. 2020 was a really big year for me for my music album collection because I just decided to just complete a ton of collections that I have that weren't completed or up to date. And I spent so much money on music albums alone. It is so embarrassing, but at the same time, a lot of plans that I had for 2020 got canceled, so the money that I saved up for those plans, I just spent on music albums. So it is a bit embarrassing, but at the same time, I'm pretty proud because there were so many collections that I'm either up to date with or completed because I just spent so much time in 2020 getting those collections either up to date or completed. So those are the 5 goals that I have for my music album collection. Now let's move on to the video game section. Now for the video game section of my goals for 2021, I decided to buy only 1 game for 5 consoles that I really am lacking on in terms of collections for those consoles. And I'm basically just gonna write the list down and just explain to you all why these consoles I really want to buy 1 game for. So yes, let me do that right now. So these are the 5 consoles that I decided to buy at least 1 game for throughout 2021. The reason why I'm only specifically saying 1 game is because in 2020 alone, I only bought 4 physical games for my collection. I did buy, I want to say 2 games on Steam, but in terms of physical copies, I only bought 4. And 2 of those games were actually for the Switch. I love the Switch so much. There are so many really good games that I want, especially in physical form, but unfortunately, the Switch is a current gen console. Or, yeah, it's current, yeah. Is it 9th gen or 8th gen? Whatever generation it is, it's current. So I really want to get another game for my Switch, but I really am undecisive on what game I want to get. And also the Switch is kind of an expensive console to collect for, so we'll see. But I really want to get at least one Switch game in 2021. And then going up the list, of course, is the Wii U. I honestly own less than 10 games for this Wii U. I really don't own many games for the Wii U, and I know that over time the console is going to get more expensive to collect for, so I want to get at least one Wii U game in 2021. Then we have the GameCube. I am so happy that I decided to pick the GameCube for this category because I love the GameCube so much. I grew up on the GameCube. The GameCube was my very first video game console I ever owned. And unfortunately, the GameCube is another really expensive console to collect for. And I'm so happy that I grew up on the GameCube because a lot of games that I own for the GameCube, I've been owning since I was a child. So I really am happy about that. But I really want to buy a GameCube game in 2021 because it's been so long since I last bought a new one. I want to say maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. Like, it's been a while, so I would like to get at least one GameCube game in 2021. Next up we have is another very expensive console to collect for, and that is the Super Nintendo. Once again, I love the Super Nintendo, but man, this console is so expensive. It has always been expensive. I don't think the prices for the Super Nintendo, especially for a lot of Super Nintendo games, will ever go down. But I would like to buy at least one Super Nintendo game. If I can buy a Super Famicom game too, that'll be fine. I don't mind. But anything relating to the Super Nintendo, I wouldn't mind buying in 2021. And last but not least, we have is the Sega Dreamcast, and specifically a North American game for the Dreamcast. Now, my Japanese Sega Dreamcast collection is actually pretty decent, but my North American collection is lacking. I only own one game for my North American collection for the Dreamcast, and that is WWF Royal Rumble, which is a great game, by the way. And I really want to get another Dreamcast game. The thing is that the Dreamcast, some games are expensive and some games are pretty reasonable. And I have been thinking about a few games that I want to get for the Dreamcast. I'm not sure which one I want, but I have a few contenders on what games I want to get for that console. And that's also the only Sega console I have on my list because my Sega Dreamcast, my Sega Dreamcast collection, it's not the biggest compared to my Saturn or my Genesis collection, but I really want to get a Dreamcast North American game in 2021. So yeah, this is my goals and plans for my 2 main collections for 2021. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. And if you are a collector, please let me know in the comment section what are your 5 goals that you have for your particular collections. I would love to hear from you. And once again, thank you all so much for watching. And also, like mentioned earlier, links to all the items that I used for this video will be linked in the description box down below, so check them out if you want. And yes, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I have never done a video like this before, and to say that this year I'm celebrating my 10th anniversary of collecting music albums. I have never done a collection goals and plans video before, so yes, I really am excited to be showing off and sharing with you all any collection plans and such that I have throughout the year. So once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe if you have not done so already. And yes, this has been me, Randy. Once again, Happy New Year, stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope to see and talk to you on the next one.